Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural address being delivered by His Excellency Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Indian Minister for Law and Justice and the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology in the Government of India. He's an eminent lawyer and a senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India. He's been a member of Parliament since the year 2000 and has been in important parliamentary committees like Finance, Communication, Petroleum and Chemicals. As the INB minister a decade or more ago, he brought in a whole bouquet of reforms to the INB ministry, and the television boom that India is today experiencing was in no small part due to his contributions to that particular sector. Something that is lesser known about him in his new avatar is that he was very actively engaged in student politics, and he has been a great activist defending civil liberties. So it is only appropriate that under his charge, India is scripting the Digital India story, and of course issues around encryption, privacy and other human rights online. Without further ado, let me invite the Honorable Minister to deliver the inaugural address, sir.
Mr. Joshi, Mr. Sameer Sharan, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to all the delegates who have come from abroad. This is my third interaction in the CyFy. I was asking Sameer to excuse me this time. He said, no, you'll have to come. Handling the communication and IT ministry earlier and now IT along with law and justice. He said, the story of India has to be told by you. I'm very happy that CyFy is growing in involvement, deliberations, and the quality of exchange which you have over the years will make this conclave an important milestone in the pursuit of internet proliferation, internet governance, and internet access, both, all the three, and lastly, security. I'm very happy that Internet Asia is the theme of this conclave. Asia must come in focus. And in Asia, the story of India becomes very important. We in India are involved in a very path-breaking initiative of changing India powered by digital technology. You know, our government led by Narendra Modi is in power for the last 2 years. We are bringing in economic reforms. Only today the report have come off competitive index, and India has jumped 16 points again today. And we are being perceived as one of the most emerging economies of the world. Though there is global stress for a variety of reasons in which I need not go now, but India is constantly posting 7% plus growth rate. Because good governance, transparent governance, faster decision making, and quicker delivery has become the mantra of our government. And in all this, ICT is indeed playing a very crucial role. My Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a very tech-savvy person. When the world was yet to get aware about the power of technology, he started employing technology in mid-90s itself. From electronic diary to personally monitoring the email, he realized the power of digital connect. And when he was campaigning for the 2014 historic elections of India, he articulated a theme for the future of India. And what was that? IT plus IT is equal to IT, which means India's talent, IT, plus information technology IT is equal to India tomorrow IT. That was the theme he has fixed for the India of his dream. And I never anticipated that after coming into power, he will put that onerous responsibility on my flickering shoulders to execute that dream of digital India. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what is the digital profile of India today, if I can very briefly say? The digital profile is, in a population of 1.25 billion plus, we have nearly 1.03 billion mobile phones. We have added mobile phones in the last 2 years equal to the population of France and Italy. In a population of 1.25 billion plus, we have got 1.05 billion digital verifiable identity of Indians, which we call Aadhaar, kept under completely safe and secure conditions. In a population of 1.25 billion plus, we have today 400 million internet. In few months, it is going to become 500 million. 60% of the internet is mobile based. And the journey of India is how it is unfolding itself. It took 10 years to reach 100 million. It took 3 years to reach 200 million. It took about 15-16 months to reach 400 million. And it will hardly need about an year to reach 500 million. India today is home to 270 million smartphones. And as the things unfold, I'll come to the Make in India subsequently. In a couple of years, India will be home to about 500 million smartphones. India's journey from the desktop to the laptop to the smartphone is indeed a phenomenal journey which requires some separate research. But what is important is people of India have come to have a stake in the digital process of India. And digital India is designed to bridge the digital divide. Under the leadership of our very dynamic Prime Minister, we are involved in some very path-breaking transformational program. What are these? Digital India, Startup India, Skill India, Make in India, Smart Cities, Stand Up India. And in the core of all these transformational programs is the platform of ICT. And therefore, as I always say, digital India is more for the poor and underprivileged. Our focus is to empower ordinary Indians with the platform of Digital Connect, ICT, to make them a more empowered Indian and in the process a more equal society. The biggest focus, ladies and gentlemen, which we are involved in the Indian experience is that digital inclusion will come about only with Digital Connect. And once the digital inclusion comes about, equality follows as a matter of course. What we are doing? We are creating a digital infrastructure for the utility of citizens of India. We have got 606 cities plus. We have got 250,000 gram panchayats, cluster of villages. In one of the biggest infrastructure transformational program, ladies and gentlemen, we are connecting 250,000 gram panchayats of India, cluster of villages, by optical fiber network. When our government had come to power, only 358 kilometers of optical fiber had been laid in 3 years. We in 2 months have laid 139,000 kilometers in 2 years. That's the speed with which we are working. We have created a digital army of Digital India. And what is the digital army of Digital India? Common service centers run by small entrepreneurs, women, young men, people of the marginalized community who are giving digital services in the hinterland of India, making passport, acting as banking correspondents, giving you train tickets, making you access to medical health care, educational facility. Its number was only 80,000. In the last 2 years, we have scaled it up to 230,000. We propose to scale it up to 250,000, having one common service center in every cluster of villages, Gram Panchayats of India. What is the third thing we are doing? The third thing we are doing is we are leveraging the connect of India's postal services. We have got 150,000 plus post offices all around the country. We are opening payment banks in all the districts of India in the coming 1 year. And we have got postmen. Postmen have become forgotten in various parts of the country, including in India, because of email and SMS. But we have revived that institution. And those postmen will go with a handheld device to the rural hinterland of India for insurance, banking, and third-party services. And what has been the excitement, just to tell you, the cabinet has given approval and 50 international consortium, including from India, are keen to partner with the platform of India Post. And that includes Citibank, Deutsche Bank, Barclays, World Bank, and all. The fourth infrastructure we are creating is call centers in various remote parts of India to make digital spread more inclusive. We have come with a scheme, it is picking up well, we have to make it faster. To give exposure to young people in the hinterland of India, access to call centers for services, that is also rising. And lastly is giving internet access to common service centers, giving them the license to go from the cluster of villages to every village by adopting an entrepreneur model. That is the fundamental platform of infrastructure. Then we are also into big digital literacy program. People should become digitally literate. Simple program, capable of being understood. Till now we have done that to about 9 million. We propose to scale it up to 60 billion in the coming 3 years. Local language, local content. Now this platform is going on. But how we are experiencing the change, I would like to share with you. You must have heard the program of Jan Dhan. What is Jan Dhan? The PM decided we will open bank accounts of all those poor people who had no access to bank accounts. In a unique feat, we opened 240 million bank accounts in a short space of 1 year. We linked that bank account to their Aadhaar, verifiable digital identity, and seeded to the bank account. Now what we did, all the pro-poor subsidies, etc., which they were getting, it was directly being delivered to their bank account using ICT, mobile phone, connected to their Aadhaar, verifiable digital identity, and transferred there. The cooking gas subsidy, the ration card subsidy, the food subsidy. We saved $6 billion plus in 1 year time, 36,000 crores which was being pilfered midway by either those who were not eligible or those who were non-existent. Digital governance is good governance. Digital governance is transparent governance. Digital governance, ladies and gentlemen, is accountable governance. Then we decided to employ digital technology for common convenience. India is a vast country, is an emerging global power, but there's also poverty. We don't discount that. For healthcare, people needed to get themselves checked in hospitals, good hospitals. How can we leverage technology for their registration? And we came with a program of e-hospital. And it was started from July 2015. And 3.2 million people have used the services of 47 leading hospitals of Delhi and other parts. We are going to scale it up further. You get yourself registered at a click of a button. A doctor waits for you on the date assigned to you. E-scholarship. What is e-scholarship? There are so many scholarships in India for poor people, for underprivileged, for bright students. We came with a national scholarship portal. At a click of a button, all the scholarship provisions are here. And you want to log in whichever you want to use. 10 million students have used it in the last 1 year. We have come with a digital locker. There is a cloud-based digital storage of documents. In the last 1 year, 2.1 million users have opened their account in digital lockers and 56 million documents have been uploaded. This movement is going on. We have got a proper site in our department in the IT in Delhi, which we call e-Tal. What is Tal? Tal means rhythm. Okay. And it technologically captures any digital movement in the country for your land record, for your e-ticketing of railways or e-ticketing of air, flights or any other digital services you are seeking. And I wanted to tell you, in 2013, there was 6.6 million transactions per day. In 2014, there are 9.6 million transactions per day. In 2015, there are 18.5 million transactions per day. And 2016, till last month, it is 20 million transactions per day. Now you can understand how the digital profile of India is changing. And we want to scale it up further. India is a vast country. There are many states. But one theme we have fixed. And what is that theme? The theme is Digital India is ideology neutral. Digital India is politics neutral. Digital India is only India positive. And with that motto, we have sought to leverage all the people, all the communities, all the states into this vast change which we are involved with. Now, what are the challenges? When we talk of digital connect, with focus on Asia, first and foremost is the right of access. As I always say, internet is one of the best creations of human mind. And if it wants to become truly global, it must have linkage with the local. And the global and local must balance and counterbalance each other. Because internet creates a virtual world, a seamless world, not caged by the limitations of geography or land boundaries. And let me tell you why we have taken digital connectivity and digital spread in such an effective manner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a larger philosophical concept behind that. And speaking as the Minister of India, and also articulating the views of Asia. This philosophical concept is very important to be appreciated. We missed out on the Industrial Revolution for a variety of reasons. Many of the Asian countries were under subjugation, imperialism. Let us not go into that. We missed out on the entrepreneurial revolution which happened in Europe and America of 60s, 70s, 80s because of socialist imprint, license, permit, quota raj. We don't want to miss the digital revolution. We want to become leaders in that. With that larger philosophical concept, right to access is important. And therefore, on the issue of net neutrality, our position has been very firm, which I articulated in the Parliament of India. There should be no discrimination in the right to access. That's the first thing I have to highlight. And Samir and Dr. Joshi, I'll be happy if there is a meaningful dialogue on that issue also. What is the second issue? What kind of governance structure we envisage for internet? In plain and simple term, internet governance. We have articulated the multi-stakeholder model. Because the growth of internet is because of the government, it is because of the civil society, it is because of the academia, and also it is because of the business. And therefore, after much deliberation, we consciously took a decision that we shall support the multi-stakeholder model in a very big way. And I have also stated that open societies, democracies need to work together more as far as internet governance is concerned, be it America, be it India, or any other open society and democracy. This issue I will deal with when I come to the security part of it. But internet governance, to make internet equal as an equalizer. I was just talking to the Swiss minister and we shared an idea. We both are open societies. Because we don't know what kind of architecture internet will bring in the coming world in the coming 10, 15, 20 years. It is seamless. It is without barriers. And anyone can say anything. Today, all of us are on social media. We take complaints on social media as ministers. Just to tell you in a hilarious way, 2 days ago, Samir, we had gone to Kerala in our party's meeting. And in our party's meeting, things are very Spartan. We're having a typical Kerala food on a banana leaf. We are 2 ministers and 1 party colleague. Someone clicked and put it on my Facebook. Amidst all the intense political discussion, we're having some lively Kerala food in a traditional style. Only 400,000 people have seen it. Only. Okay. And about 50,000 plus have liked it. And there are about 300 comments, including interesting comment, Mr. Minister, good you are having conventional food, but why you are having mineral water? Avoid it. Fine. There's a new India emerging, and we respect that. We have got a platform, MyGov. What is MyGov? People of India are asked to give their advice on issue of conservation, sustainable development, Ganga cleaning, other aspects. Their ideas are crowdsourced. The PM monitors, I monitor, we take feedback. 3.5 million people today are routinely engaging with the government on MyGov platform. And this Jan Dhan, what is Jan Dhan? People's money. That means Jan Dhan. Jan Dhan account was name given by them. We have started a big program of Swachh Bharat, cleaning India. We asked them to give the logo for that. And what they said? The specs of Mahatma Gandhi, because Mahatma Gandhi personified simplicity and also cleanliness. This is how crowdsourcing is being done. Therefore, if this world is emerging, this world has to be an equal world. This world has to be a world where the voice of everyone is heard. And the architecture of governance also must emerge from that process. What is the third issue which I would like to flag? That's the issue of cybersecurity. And here, I'm very happy, Samir and Dr. Joshi, that you have put this theme also in the forefront of this particular CyFy event. If internet is one of the finest creations of human mind, it ought not to be allowed to be abused by few. And in this seamless world, anyone can create problem anywhere. And if you want to block this particular exit, there are 10 more exits which technology is willing to open. There comes the time of greater coordination, of more understanding, of greater common endeavor. We in India are involved in a big exercise of cyber security awakening. We have got a proper cyber computer emergency response team. We are going for a cyber coordination center, greater education among officers, judges, civil servants, having new security auditors. All those things we are doing. But here comes the biggest problem for open societies. I just shared that neatly with His Excellency the Minister from Switzerland. For an open society, the view must be allowed to prosper and proliferate. But what do you do if under the garb of 1,000 people, there are 20 people who are proliferating to create mayhem, communal discord, creating fraud for the banking system, or wrecking the system itself? And there I think the role of the government will remain important. The government of the day will have to get engaged more. And there is a need for greater education and awareness with the people. Because this fine instrument of mobile or this extraordinary platform of internet is for your good, for health, for education, for inclusion, for involvement and empowerment. As I say, in India, people have a very peculiar habit. What's that habit? First they observe technology, then they adopt it, then they start enjoying it, and then they become empowered in the process. And ladies and gentlemen, India's transformation through the digital technology can be a wonderful case study. Some of my friends of ICANN had come to meet me, and I advised them, and I will repeat it here again. We have got a startup in Delhi which goes in a car, moves in the country for 3 months, and picks the story of those who are changing their lifestyle with their smartphones and records that. And that unfolds a very fascinating story as to how India is changing. And one particular story I would like to share. We have got a place in Orcha near Jhansi in central India. A lot of palaces are there. A lot of tourists come mostly from Spain. And there was an elderly person selling souvenirs. He used to speak broken English. And his Spanish did not understand English. Then how to sell his business? His young grandchild, aged 16 years, saw the problem, went on Google, picked up a crash course of Spanish speaking in 1 month, and the business boomed. No one taught him. But he realized, I can go to Google and get myself empowered. And these stories are being replicated, and we want to do it. Lastly, we are also promoting electronic manufacturing in a big way. Because this hardware is important. Indian IT is present in 200 cities of the 80 country. Last year we exported IT software worth only $108 billion. But manufacturing is equally important. And I'm very happy to tell you that India is becoming a big hub of electronic manufacturing. And mobile phones are leading the way. In the last 1 year, we have 40 mobile manufacturing units started producing in India. In the last 1 year, we have only manufactured 110 million mobile phones of all the best brands of the world, including from China. And I saw some newspaper reports, Chinese companies, I welcome them, who have started establishing shop there It's creating problem back home. But that is the part of competition. Doesn't learn to live with that. Internet of Things is also developing in a big way in India. We have come with an open standard. For smart cities, machine-to-machine contact, all this is creating a big favorable climate for digital business. And India's digital economy is going to become $1 trillion in the coming couple of years. But ladies and gentlemen, data is important. As I always say, Samir, data is the new oil. Okay? Data is available and we are keeping in very safe conditions by statutory backing. But data analysis is going to become a big, promising scope for digital business in future. A country capable of that analysis more is going to become a more relevant country in digital economy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last one point and then I conclude. I think I have spoken a little more. The startup movement is picking up in India in a very big way. Startup India and Stand Up India. Last 1 year, we have had 4,000 plus startups in India. More are coming. The culture has picked up. From innovation to venture fund, all have been put in place. But we are not happy. We have to do more. And what we need to do more is something I look forward here. And surely the meaningful discussion and the dialogue which we'll have here will give a way not for digital economy in Asia, but also a harbinger for change in the coming decade for the whole world. And therefore, this conclave is important. And therefore, I am here. Warm welcome to all of you. Namaskar. Thank you. Jai Hind.
So now may I request the director, Mr. Sanjay Joshi, to propose a vote of thanks and have the final word this evening as we conclude this first day's session.
Honorable Minister, Excellency Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, after a talk like that, how do I even begin thanking you, sir? Sir, you have always indulged us. I mean, I know we at ORF have a special place in your heart and you allow us to lay special claims on your time and on your attention. So I'm extremely grateful that you have come to us here. So particularly CyFy, this whole conference is at the intersection of, as you know, IT and law, norms and governance. So now with you being Minister for IT and Law and Justice, there was no way we could not have invited you to inaugurate this conference. This conference had to start with you. And you have started this on a perfectly sound note. So on behalf of all the participants and ORF, let me congratulate you for this great speech you gave us. And thank you for kicking this off this evening. So you have an irrepressible passion for the information technology sector. There's no doubt about it. And the Prime Minister's version of a digital India, which has to be inclusive India, which you laid down so clearly in your speech. So that, and your passion and your commitment for all that clearly shines through every word you speak. You've touched upon the massive thrust of this government on pushing connectivity. A government which believes that the net must include all the 1.2 billion Indians and counting, and deliver governance and bring prosperity to everyone, including those who have been excluded. The challenge of Jan Dhan, sir, you touched upon, the use of technology to create payment gateways that again are secure and safe, and that is where cybersecurity comes in such a huge manner. For delivery of good governance right to the doorsteps of those needing it most. Primarily, you've spoken about India's leadership, the leadership you're trying to give this country and to give the world for taking the digital revolution to the bottom of the pyramid and become a model for other such, the billions waiting in the wings. So you have always guided us in our endeavors. And so just briefly, I will tell you that this whole CyFy is actually built upon the 5 core pillars which you mentioned and touched upon in your inaugural address, sir. So this year too at the CyFy, we are taking up, first of all, the whole concept of international engagement in the cyber domain. To evaluate the progress made by intergovernmental and multi-stakeholder platforms, which you touched upon, India's commitment to multi-stakeholderism, on cyber norms, such as the UNGG and the Tallinn Manual and various regional initiatives which are taking place. That is our first. Second, sir, again which you touched upon, the digital economy, the rapidly expanding and growing digital economy, where we take stock of the legal, regulatory and economic aspects of digital development in India and the Asia Pacific. As well as the development of frontier technologies. You spoke about the Internet of Things and various other things which are coming up. Frontier technologies, distributed ledgers in the financial sector and the Internet of Things. Third, which again you spoke about, cyber security. That is our third pillar. So we have sessions on encryption, critical information infrastructure, mutual legal assistance treaties, the use of lethal autonomous weapons and the moral dilemmas they pose, and cyber chain, the entire cyber value chain integrity, supply chain integrity in the digital space. Fourth pillar, very again, one which is core to your passion, to your heart, access and inclusion. Fostering ongoing conversations around safe and accessible electronic platforms like Aadhaar, which you've been experimenting here for marginalized communities, and policy recommendations on making digital spaces much more inclusive. And fifth and last, capacity building. And that is where we feel you spoke about capacity building, digital literacy. So India's capabilities, its expansion into this area of capacity building, to essentially weave these 4 themes together, the 4 themes we spoke about, the 4 pillars. Capacity building is the most crucial aspect which we are talking about. And we are using this conference as a platform to bring together about 20 to 25 ICT specialists from Africa and the Asia Pacific for interactive workshops and roundtables on accessible and affordable internet access for the next billion users. So this is the structure that this conference will have, and we will have a whole series of very animated discussions. As always, we will report back to the government on the fruits of these discussions and what has been recommended, emanated from these conversations, which take place between 140 international participants from 45 countries which are gathered here, plus about 600 more delegates who will pass through these doors in the next 2 days. So thank you very much. But before I let you go, one more request. I will call upon Arun Sukumar and Anahita, who have been really bearing the entire burden of stage managing this conference, to come and present to you with the memento and the collection of our research on this. Anahita.
Okay, global policy, good. You hold one.